Icon and Bermuda! Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure this morning to introduce the Premier of Bermuda, the Honourable Michael Dunkley, JP MP.
Good morning. I wish I had some pipes like that. Ministerial colleagues, parliamentary colleagues, all of our honored and invited guests, it's a great day to be in the East End of the island. I'm proud to be gathered here today with all of you to break ground for the construction of the new airport terminal. The airport groundbreaking is an historic moment for Bermuda. This is the largest capital project that our country has undertaken, and the government of Bermuda is pleased to be working with the Canadian government and ACON on the redevelopment of the L.F. Wade International Airport. This government-to-government plan enables us to have a new airport terminal which is so desperately needed, built now, without losing ownership of the airport itself, and of course, tailored to our needs. This is a good project for Bermuda. It's good for the hundreds of Bermudans who will find employment during the 40 months of construction, and for the families their hard work will support. Good for many Bermudians who will find a career in an energized aviation industry, and for the interns who will gain knowledge and skill as the project takes shape. Good for local business that takes advantage of the services and sales opportunities that will take place during the redevelopment this project creates. Good for the airport staff who will work in a 21st century facility, and for the millions of visitors who will pass through the air terminal that becomes their first impression to our island home. Good for international business sector that will have an airport that matches the first-rate products that they sell to the world. And good for the Bermuda tourism to have a gateway that befits our blue-chip image. And of course, good for the people of Bermuda who will benefit from a project that enables us to work around our very serious financial challenges that we are correcting to achieve something big for the public good of Bermuda. The success of any country depends on building and maintaining an infrastructure that enables our people to earn a living and for our economy to grow and to prosper. That is precisely the goal that we set when we came up with the airport redevelopment. And we've taken great care to make sure it happens. Taking great care to make it happen by maximizing the opportunities for labor and for business, and by working at all times within our means to build a strategic asset without impacting the national debt. To those who are opposed to the project, it is my sincere hope you will see the experience and the benefits of this project as we move forward. We must all appreciate that the journey we have traveled as a country to reach this point has been a difficult one at times. However, I have always had faith that we would overcome the challenges, as I firmly believe that what unites us far outweighs what divides us, and this project is a very necessary development. After all, this project is about building a strong future for all of us, a future that supports Bermuda workers and their families, Bermuda businesses and their employees, and that positions the island to perform for decades to come. Now, before turning over the microphone to my honorable colleague, the Deputy Premier and the Minister of Finance, I want to take this moment to express my thanks and appreciation to all of our parliamentary colleagues who worked so hard to make this happen and who stood firm in the House of Assembly to get the bill passed. Especially to the Minister of Finance, sir, for recognizing the need and the opportunity to rebuild this critical asset, for your innovative partnership with the Canadian government and the Aecon Corporation, and always, sir, for your steady hand in guiding this project across more than 2 years to this groundbreaking today. Given the scope of the project, the challenges that we face, it is an enormous accomplishment that will support the working life of our beloved island home for many, many years to come. So to my colleagues and to you, thank you for a job well done. And with that being said, I will now turn the microphone over to you, Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, distinguished guests, good morning. I'm really, really happy to be here this morning. Happy that this historic project is finally breaking ground for Bermuda's first purpose-built air terminal, an air terminal that is so important to the people of Bermuda. It has been almost 3 years to the day that I first heard of CCC. And it took me some time to get my head around the CCC development model. Once I did and understood the potential this model had to stimulate the Bermuda economy, create hundreds of jobs, and avoid jeopardizing government finances, I knew it would be good for Bermuda. It provides Bermuda with an opportunity to move the principal gateway of our island from a makeshift structure to a jet-age design, from the 20th century to the 21st century, from make-do to can-do. This government-to-government transaction, through the good graces of the Canadian government, has been brought to us by the Canadian Commercial Corporation, or CCC. I want to thank CCC, Aecon, and Canada for sticking with us throughout the vagaries of political life in Bermuda. The journey to get us here has been difficult, with many twists and turns. Upon reflection, there are some things that we, as a government, could have done differently, perhaps better. But there is one overriding lesson from this journey, from 3 years ago up till today. And that lesson is this: if you know you're doing the right thing for the right reasons, stick to it. Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't lose heart. Keep working at it until you finally succeed. As we say in cricket, you stay at the wicket and the runs will come. The thing that gave me confidence to stay at the wicket, in addition to what the model could do for Bermuda, was the quality of the counterparties in the deal. The Canadian government and Aecon, Canada's largest, oldest, and most respected infrastructure development company. This transaction frees us from having to add to Bermuda's already high debt. It includes AAA guarantees against cost overruns, inferior work, and late delivery, all plagues of past infrastructure projects. Our arrangement with Aecon includes a great opportunity to open pathways to markets of tourism we are currently not seeing, new airline routes from new cities. This arrangement puts Bermudians to work and opens the door to new job opportunities that didn't exist before. We expect there will be new opportunities for people, new business opportunities, new jobs created that will indirectly materialize because of this new terminal. It is innovative thinking that the government has been using to bring Bermuda back from the brink. This redevelopment of the airport is just a part, although I believe a very important part, of an overall policy direction that puts Bermuda back on a course towards prosperity. While it is not happening overnight, even to the casual observer, it is visible. There is congestion on our docks in Hamilton with too many containers in preparation for a busy summer. And our cement silos were recently empty. Those things tell you something. There is a rising tide brought by the America's Cup and the world's best sailors that will bring one of the most memorable sporting, tourism, and commercial successes in our entire history. A lot of people coming to that event will come through this airport, and we are going to want them to come back, to return over and over again, so that they can witness the realization of this project. So this is an important day in many ways that are only limited by the future imagination of our Bermudians. When Bermudians first learned of this project, they were probably a little surprised to see me up there making the announcement. But that happened for a reason. As finance minister, faced with an important role to bring stability to government finances and improve the economy, I had to be convinced that such a transaction would make financial sense for us. And it did. And now, in the sense that he has ministerial responsibilities for tourism and transport, this is also Minister Fay's project. I would like to publicly thank, and give special thanks actually, to Aaron Adderley, without whose steadfast support we would not be here today. And also thanks to all the staff of the former Department of Airport Operations, many of whom are here today and many of whom are now employees of Skyport. You and the hundreds of other people who have called this airport their office, their job site. You have worked under very difficult circumstances for far too long. All of Bermuda owes you a big thank you for the many ways you have still been able to get the job done. Finally, my words to you, my parting words to you, paraphrase none other than Winston Churchill. This ceremony is clearly not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but is likely to be the end of the beginning. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And Minister Richards, I think you're absolutely right in your final comments. First, let me thank as well former Minister Crockwell, who's in the audience, who was the Minister of Transport when this project began. And I have taken the baton with the Minister of Finance since then to aid in its completion. And for that, I'm delighted to be here for this groundbreaking ceremony on such an important development. The entire airport was created, as you know, at the beginning of the 1940s, when the U.S. Army filled in various waterways to connect St. David's Island to the larger landmass of West Bermuda. They built themselves an air base from scratch, forever changing the makeup of the Bermuda Islands. It was because of the demands of war that Bermuda acquired an airfield at all. It was occupied by the U.S. Army at first, later the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, and even used by the Coast Guard. this is a small part of the history of this property. The future is the emplacement of a substantial passenger terminal that will serve the needs of Bermudians for many years to come. We are delighted that we are sharing this vision with CCC, with AECON, and with the newly formed operating company, Skyport. The endeavor provides an abundance of opportunities for Bermudians in the building of the terminal and in the future operations of this airport. It has been great to see how many young people have already begun to take advantage of the many benefits arising out of our partnership, and I know that many more will do so in the future. While this transaction was part of a grand vision the government has for the future prosperity of our island, I would like again to extend my congratulations to all the parties who made all of this happen and worked so hard, including many in government that are here today. Again, I echo the comments in respect of Mr. Adderley, and also I think it's important to acknowledge, as I did before, the work that will have to now commence with the Bermuda Airport Authority, and I'm pleased to see that the Airport Authority is here today, and they will be responsible for essentially overseeing the work that is done here and the regulatory functions of the new facility. Again, thank you ever so much, CCC, AECON, and Skyport, and it's my pleasure now to introduce Martin Zablosky of CCC. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Fay. Good morning, Premier, ministers, U.S. Consul General is here, parliamentarians and distinguished guests. I am Martin Zablosky. I'm the President and CEO of Canadian Commercial Corporation. Very pleased to be here today representing the Government of Canada, along with my colleague Natalie Niedoba from Canada's Consulate General in New York. Natalie, thank you for being here. It's an extremely proud day for us in Canada. I've been to Bermuda many times, and I have to say, I'm always struck by the hospitality of Bermudians, and I know that your reputation will serve you well as you come approaching the America's Cup in the next few months and weeks. To begin, I'd like to once again thank the government and the people of Bermuda for choosing to work with CCC on the redevelopment of the L.F. Wade International Airport. The minister mentioned the long journey it's taken to get here. I'm sure to some, groundbreaking feels like the end of that long journey, but it's also the beginning of an historic and important project for the nation, and there's a lot of hard work to come. We've progressed towards getting shovels in the ground to start delivering on this world-class airport, and today marks that tremendous event. And now that it's finally here, congratulations are in order to all the Bermudians and Canadians who worked to make this happen. From CCC's perspective, we're well aware that this national asset affects the lives of all Bermudians. And we're excited to play a key role in the delivery of this world-class, customized solution to meet those needs. I know this project will have an immediate benefit for Bermuda and Bermudians and a lasting benefit for generations to come. I can say that in my role as President and CEO of CCC, I have the privilege of doing this sort of work all over the world, and we've had great success with it. But it's key in all of that is the character and the relationships that you form along the way. And I can say without doubt, those characters and relationships we've built getting this project together are second to none, and I'm very pleased and proud of that. So, Premier Minister Richards, thank you for your leadership and your vision in putting this together, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to mark this occasion with all of you here today. I look forward to the shared successes we can celebrate together in the future. And with that, I'd like to now turn the floor over to Mr. John Beck, the founder and president and chief executive officer of AECON Group, and thank John as well for his partnership in this wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marty. Morning, everybody. Morning, Premier, Madam President, Mr. Speaker, ministers, U.S. Consul General, senators, members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very, very happy to be here today. Today is a very exciting day for AECON, and for me, it's a very special day, personally. I've been visiting Bermuda now for over 50 years, and to be involved with such a monumental occasion for Bermuda is particularly emotional for me. It's another milestone in my personal relationship with wonderful Bermuda. At Aecon, we value the partnerships that we have with businesses, with government, with our clients, and the communities in which we operate. Over the last few years, we've developed many valued relationships with Bermudan companies, community groups, yes, taxi drivers, artists, charitable and environmental organizations, and of course, with Bermudians of all walks of life, many of whom are here today. It's these partnerships for me that make working in Bermuda such a pleasure. I'd of course like to acknowledge a very special partnership that we have with Canadian Commercial Corporation and Marty and your group for their foresight in developing business relationships abroad on behalf of Canadian companies. So, as we break ground here today, and I see already 2 shovels working over there and soon a 3rd one, we look forward to building on these partnerships and developing new ones. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Premier, Ministers, U.S. Consul General, Senators, Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. As President of Aecon Concessions, the developer and financier of the airport project, today is a day of extraordinary significance and pride. We're gathered here right on top of the site that will soon begin to transform itself into Bermuda's magnificent new airport terminal. It's the moment where we formally move from imagination to the gritty reality of steel and stone beginning to emerge from the ground, to forge a world-class terminal that will serve the people of Bermuda for decades to come, and that will bolster and enhance Bermuda's primary connection to the world. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone involved with the airport redevelopment project for their tireless work over the last 2.5 years. It's because of your dedication and commitment that we're here today, breaking ground on Bermuda's purpose-built, state-of-the-art airport. At Aecon, we take great pride in delivering large, complex infrastructure, but that pride is compounded many times over when it involves delivering projects of national significance and in a way that is intertwined with the community. We're absolutely thrilled to share our expertise with Bermuda in building the new terminal for the L.F. Wade International Airport, and also extremely grateful for the incredible hospitality that Bermuda has shown us. At 277,300 square feet, the new building will be modern, spacious, and offer accessibility features for the physically challenged. The terminal has been designed to maximize Bermuda's natural light and to resist hurricanes, and will entirely modernize the Bermuda air travel experience. It will have all of the amenities and features that today's travelers have come to expect and to appreciate, for comfort, for efficiency, and convenience. Whether it is families traveling here for a vacation, business executives dropping in for a meeting, or Bermudians visiting friends and family abroad or at home, the new airport will complement and enhance the travel experience and provide a level of service that is consistent with all that Bermuda has to offer elsewhere on this beautiful island. At Aecon, we don't simply build infrastructure, we build long-term partnerships and relationships. These are vital to ensure any project's success in the community. Over the past couple of years, we've built lasting, positive, and constructive relationships with many Bermudian people, Bermudian businesses, and various local communities. And we look forward to broadening and deepening these connections over the coming years. As part of this relationship with Bermuda, Aecon is committed to maximizing the use of local subcontractors throughout the project. Earlier this week, we were pleased to announce that we have awarded 4 contracts to Bermudian businesses, and we anticipate more in the weeks to come. As the general contractor for the new airport terminal, Aecon is committed to ensuring that much of the future of Bermuda's air tourism infrastructure will be built by Bermudian hands. We feel privileged and honored to be able to work with Bermuda and Bermudians on so monumental a project, to play a role in cementing Bermuda's place as a premier tourist and business destination, and to be part of the array of strategic initiatives that are fundamental to Bermuda's economic revitalization. Together, we will build an airport that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm cognizant that there's a plane that just landed behind me. We're actually at an airport, right? Good morning, Premier, Ministers, U.S. Consul General, Senators, MPs, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Bermuda Skyport Corporation Limited, welcome to the Al Uwais International Airport. From a vantage point that perhaps you don't get to see that often, out here on what was formerly runway 0826, right over there. Many of you may remember there used to be stoplights over there on Kinley Field Road to allow airplanes to land. But certainly moving forward will be the new home of a place that you'll no doubt become all too familiar with. As many of you may now be aware, Skyport is a newly established special purpose company responsible for the operations, maintenance, and commercial functions of the airport, and also managing and coordinating the overall delivery of the airport redevelopment project for the 30-year concession term. In just 40 months, on this very site, Bermuda will have a state-of-the-art gateway to the world, which we can all be proud of. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the employees of Skyport and all those whose hard work has made this day possible. The new airport terminal that we begin building today will help enable us to provide our visitors and residents the chance to travel in style and comfort by providing more services such as improved food and retail concessions, enhanced accessibility features for the physically challenged, improved passenger processing areas, and enclosed aircraft boarding bridges to protect passengers from the elements. The new airport terminal has been designed with sustainability in mind, and it will meet the highest industry standards for customer service, security, and immigration, making the passenger experience much more efficient and streamlined. As part of the airport redevelopment project, we will also work hard over the coming months and years to develop new and exciting airline routes that will help enable us to expand our visitor numbers, whilst also providing more options for our traveling residents. Historically, the airport has secured the added lift. However, we haven't been able to see those flights become sustainable, hence the up and down variation in seat capacity over the years. But this year, that trend appears poised for change, thanks to the fantastic efforts of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, who are driving demand and putting bums in seats. Bermuda has seen promising growth in overall airport passenger numbers over the last year, and we believe that we can best facilitate this recent trend with the help of our new airport terminal. This is an exciting time for Bermuda and for those of us in the airport industry. Today marks the beginning of a new age of Bermuda's air travel experience, and I am happy that the men and women of Skyport will be helping to shape its future. So may God bless and watch over the building of Bermuda's new airport passenger terminal. Thank you all.
Got something? Okay, throw it at us on three. 1, 2, 3. There you go.